Have you ever imagined that one day the sun will die? What will happen to the earth, and what will humans do? You'll have to watch this movie to find out. A story of sacrifice, heroics, and family. Before Liu Peiqiang leaves on his mission, he takes Liu Qi and his grandfather Han Xiang to spend the night. Liu Qi asks about the big planet he saw through the stethoscope. Liu Peiqiang explains that it's Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system that contains a lot of hydrogen. Hydrogen that also fuels the rocket where he works. Liu Peiqiang says goodbye to Liu Qi, that he will leave and definitely return when Jupiter can be seen from the Earth. That night, he also says goodbye to his father, handing over a necklace that gives Han Xiang and Liu Qi access to underground housing without a raffle. Liu Peiqiang entrusted his son to him after his wife passed away. Liu Peiqiang's departure is due to the catastrophic disasters that have occurred recently on Earth. Eruptions, fires, droughts, and the loss of cities throughout the country caused by the death of the sun. The sun continues to grow so large that it could swallow the Earth in 100 years. Then the solar system will disappear in 300 years. All the countries of the world are united for the first time, working together in the United Earth Government to preserve human life. They run a project called the Wanderig Earth Project, which is a mission to get the Earth out of the solar system. 10,000 Earth machines are built on the surface of the Earth. Humans migrate to the subsurface of the Earth in 36 years. The construction of the International Space Station navigation platform is built to maintain the trajectory of the Earth. Liu Peiqiang is one of the astronauts who took 30 years to build the navigation platform. The temperature on the surface of the Earth is decreasing. Han Xiang takes Liu Qi to the underground housing. 17 years later, on a spring morning, Liu Qi is getting ready. He puts the weapon he produced himself into his bag, not forgetting to give his grandfather a message. In the middle of class, Duoduo attends idly. She is not interested and is clearly bored. Eventually, the classroom system went down. Her classmates panic. Her teacher tries to calm them down. Liu Qi quietly pulls Duoduo out of the classroom. Liu Qi is the culprit. They go to a club, meet the gangster leader to exchange Liu Qi's weapon for 2 heat-resistant suits. After making fake IDs, the gangster leader told them they must return it before tomorrow. Duoduo whispers, saying they won't go back downstairs to Liu Qi. Unfortunately, the gangster leader hears her whisper. The gangster leader is angry because he feels cheated. Liu Qi tries to counter with his weapon, the protective shield, and blows it up with his hand-assembled machine. After that, Liu Qi and Duoduo run all the way to the elevator checkpoint to the surface of the Earth. The gangster leader doesn't dare to report it because he is the one who made the illegal suit. Liu Qi and Duoduo arrive at the elevator that will take them to the surface of the Earth for 15 minutes. On the way, they could see the frozen city of Beijing. Everyone ducks when the elevator doors are about to open. The wind with extreme snow hits them. The temperature dropped to -degrees. Liu Qi and Duoduo are amazed at the bustle on the surface of the Earth. They headed to the freight station, looking for Han Xiang's freight truck. Duoduo had stolen Han Xiang's driver's card so Liu Qi could drive the truck. It takes 5 years for it to drive well, even though Liu Qi bumps here and there at first. Liu Qi finally manages to control it properly. Not only is the cityscape covered in snow and freezing, Duoduo can see the Earth-moving machine and mining activities for fuel needs. On the International Space Station navigation platform rocket, Liu Peiqiang wakes up excited. Today he's going back to Earth, and his teammate Makarov brings him some alcohol that he smuggled in as a farewell. Peiqiang refuses, but Makarov insists and keeps it in Peiqiang's astronaut suit. Peiqiang and Makarov discuss Jupiter's odd orbit. Earth can't get out of the solar system without Jupiter's gravity, Makarov explains. Peiqiang teaches his replacement. Then he enters his ID into a computer announcing his retirement. All his colleagues applauded. On the way to drop Duoduo off at the station to return to underground housing, they are intercepted by a car raid. Liu Qi and Duoduo end up in jail. In the middle of the dark prison, suddenly someone points a flashlight at Liu Qi and Duoduo. They are interrogated. The lights turn on, and an officer approaches the side cell to scold the culprit. It is Tim who interrogates Liu Qi and Duoduo, the occupant of the side cell. Hours later, Han Xiang comes to redeem his grandchildren. He attempts to redeem them by bringing gifts for the officer. But he fails and ends up in the cell with his grandchildren instead. Han Xiang scolds Lu Qi and Duo. Tim interferes nosily, causing Lu Qi to punch the wall in annoyance. His punch cracks the wall absurdly. It turns out to be a quake caused by Jupiter's gravity. Lu Qi, Duo, Han Xiang, and Tim manage to get out of the prisoner room that started to fall. With over 1,000 facilities reportedly damaged, the disaster easily killed many people. Amidst the shaking and rubble of falling buildings, Han Xiang tries to return to the underground housing. The truck he drives is stuck by a rock. But Lu Qi manages to release the back of the truck. The truck again speeds in the opposite direction to the vehicles that will conduct the rescue mission. While on the navigation platform rocket, the MOSS robot that guides tells it to immediately activate the energy-saving mode. Communication channels are shut down and all astronauts are directed to hibernate. Peiqiang tries to call Lu Qi, but he can't be reached. Then he calls Han Xiang and quickly directs them to the evacuation site. The rocket hallway was empty, but Peiqiang was worried about his family on Earth. Han Xiang drives to the evacuation site directed by Peiqiang. But his truck is stopped by a rescue team who need their help to start the Earth machine. The container containing the lighter core is attached to the rear body of the truck. Han Xiang realizes that this is a very dangerous mission because for 30 years the Earth engine has never died. Zhou Qian, one of the rescue team, gets into the truck. She formally requests Han Xiang, Lu Qi, Duo, and Tim's help in delivering the lighter core to the Earth machine in Hangzhou. The group arrives in Shanghai where tectonic movements have been detected. They have to drive over 2 cliffs that appear unstable. 2 rescue team officers to check the gap between the 2 cliffs with the help of drones as well. The engineering team detected danger around Shanghai. The tall buildings turned into frozen buildings. Shanghai is where Han Xiang used to live. They passed through Shanghai while hearing Han Xiang's story before everyone was worried about the sun but money. When Peiqiang is about to hibernate, he asks the MOSS where Han Xiang is. MOSS reports that Han Xiang has joined the rescue team. Peiqiang contacts the captain of the rescue team, Wang Lei. He orders Wang Lei to deliver civilians to the evacuation site. Lu Qi doesn't accept when he is underestimated by Peiqiang. He will not quit this rescue mission. Lu Qi hates Peiqiang for the death of his mother, even though it was the only way to save Lu Qi. Her mother has been sick for a long time. She can't look after Lu Qi, nor she haven't a lot of time. Moreover, only 2 people are allowed to enter the underground housing. Like it or not, Peiqiang must sacrifice his wife. The Earth's atmosphere pressure decreased, as a result of which the rescue team using the planes suddenly landed and the communication network in Shanghai was lost. Peiqiang worried, especially when MOSS reports the cracking of the Asia-Pacific tectonic plate. The situation on the road is getting worse. The earthquake causes the Earth's surface to split and the surrounding buildings begin to collapse. The truck's windshield will break. Wang Lei orders everyone to wear helmets. The front building collapses, blocking their way. The group decides to backtrack. As the Earth's condition deteriorates, SOS decides to take evacuation and hibernation procedures. Hibernation gas begins to be sprayed. Peiqiang knocks on the cabin glass asking to get out, but the SOS robot ignored him. The drive-by truck is not possible. The rescue team decides to move the lighter core and tell the others to get off the truck immediately. Lu Qi pulls out a life preserver to protect the others from the wreckage. Rescuers pull the lighter core in the extreme weather. The lighter core is the last one. Their mission must not fail and waste the lives of their teammates. The rescue team finally decide to enter a building that appears to be intact. The rescuers team who reach the top floor first set up a pulley. One of them is looking for a way out. When the pulley is finished, Lu Qi insists that people be carried up first. No time to argue, Wang Lei determined that people in lighter cores be carried up together. The pulley can't hold the weight while Han Xiang is still halfway down. The situation gets worse when the stalled elevator starts to descend. Wang Lei cuts the pulley rope, and Han Xiang falls down. Gang Zi saves him, pushing Han Xiang's body to another floor. The elevator descended, slamming into Gang Zi's body uncontrollably. With dozens of bullets, the exit gate is successfully created. Han Xiang survives, but the oxygen in his protective suit has 7% left. He takes off his helmet. letting the cold air freeze him as the building collapses. In between life and death, Han Zhuang reminisces about the time he met Duoduo, the baby that was given to her by many hands 14 years ago when the earth stopped spinning. He named her Duoduo, like his daughter's name. Since then, Han Xiang has always told Liu Qi to take care of Duoduo. Han Zhuang's death devastated Liu Qi, and Duoduo Liu Qi split up with the rescue team because they were indirectly the cause of Han Zhuang's death. Wang Lei instructs the other rescue personnel to provide them with navigation and other supplies. They couldn't just leave Liu Qi. Pei Qiang escapes from the cabin by breaking the cable assembly. MOSS warns of the offense he committed, but Pei Qiang doesn't care. Everyone was awakened from the hibernation system. Pei Qiang checked around and realized that Moss exterminates humans on Earth. Makarov asks, "What is the next action?" Pei Qiang answers, "He will stop the space station in the central control module." Makarov chooses to go with Pei Qiang to the central control module. They exit through an air duct that is not supposed to be used as an exit door. The duct opened, and their bodies were pulled out. Makarov almost flies out of the rocket because his rope breaks. Pei Qiang holds him fast. Pei Qiang notices that Earth's atmosphere had now been absorbed by Jupiter. After separating from the rescue team, Liu Qi, Duoduo, and Tim find a danger signal that leads them to a solid truck. Liu Qi instructs Duoduo and Tim to get in immediately, while he checks the truck's fuel. The sound of Duoduo's screaming makes Liu Qi rush into the truck. It is there that they meet Li Yi, the only rescue worker who has survived. Liu Qi tries to release Duoduo from Li Yi's grip and explains to Li Yi that they are also a rescue team. Li Yi finally believes him, saying that he's on a mission to save the torsion machine in Ecuador. After the arrival of Liu Qi, Tim, and Duoduo, the mission must continue. The communication machine in the truck is working again. Wang Lei tries to ask for help to bring the lighter core to Hangzhou. The magma has reached Hangzhou's lower city. The lighter core is the only solution, Li Yi says. This torque machine is much more important than Wang Lei's team mission. When the rescue team led by Wang Lei arrives in Hangzhou, the city has already been destroyed. Their rescue mission failed and another teammate lost. Wang Lei is still concerned about the lighter core they brought, while the people they were going to save are already gone. Zhou Qian is so frustrated. She destroys the lighter core and makes Wang Lei angry. Not long after, the truck driving Liu Qi arrived in front of the rescue team. Tim holds back Liu Qi, who is about to attack them. Wang Lei's voice intercepts his actions. Wang Lei disperses the team and is going to leave them. The sound of the truck horn stops him. Liu Qi asks them to join to go to Sulawesi to save the torque engine. Wang Lei's team agreed to join. The situation in the truck at the time is gloomy. Li Yi, who was known as the emergency engineering observer of the United Earth government, instructs them to hurry to the south, Sulawesi. Pei Qiang and Makarov, on the other hand, are climbing to reach the central control module room. Junction A explodes, the wreckage blowing them away. Makarov thought the explosion was caused by someone who must have noticed this incident of neglect. As the module room rotates towards them, Makarov jumps first, but the MOSS detects the danger and releases a bullet that shatters the protective glass of his astronaut suit. Before that happened, Makarov pushes Pei Qiang up to the control module room. Pei Qiang successfully slips inside. Once there, Pei Qiang attempts to control the rocket manually. However, the MOSS robot appears by explaining that the control provisions are carried out in accordance with the policies that the countries have signed. Pei Qiang couldn't arbitrarily control it. They have arrived in Manila. Philippines. Wang Lei informs them that they will soon pass through the Aram zone, which is the dark side. One by one, the Earth machine is successfully turned on, including the Earth machine in Sulawesi. Although 71% of the propulsion engines and 100% of the torque engines are reactivated at the sacrifice of many rescue workers, their efforts fail. The Earth had violated Jupiter's Roche, and its pull had exceeded the engine's ability to carry the Earth away from Jupiter. MOSS calls it the Helios Project, another rescue mission by storing 3,000 embryos, 1,000 types of staple plants to the digital library of human civilization. Humans on Earth begin to despair. They are only given 7 days to meet their families and loved ones. Pei Qiang is pensive. He asks MOSS to contact Liu Qi for the last time. But the whereabouts of Liu Qi, Han Xiang, and Wang Lei are no longer detected. Liu Qi stares at space, seeing Jupiter in front of his eyes, but Pei Qiang doesn't return as he promised. Pei Qiang himself realizes, after the Wandering Earth project begins, it is impossible for him to return. Jupiter and the ocean are the last memories with Pei Qiang that Liu Qi still remembers. Pei Qiang once explained that Jupiter is like a balloon that can burst. A mixture of hydrogen and oxygen can create an explosion wave. The pressure is able to pull the Earth away from Jupiter. What they need is a lighter. Li Yi says intercontinental missiles can't reach Jupiter because it's too far away. But he doesn't give up. He can make the lighter much higher by modifying the engine. In 30 minutes, they have to do the 3 steps described by Li Yi. First, they must turn off the engine and increase control. There are 7 energy pipes that must be shut down, and then the 7 pipes will be merged into 1 pipe to increase the power of the plasma. In the second step, they have to unlock it manually, so it takes a lot of people to open it. Finally, they have to put the lighter core into the reaction chamber, then turn on the Earth engine. Li Yi entrusted this task to Liu Qi, who drove, and Tim later, who read the manual. They arrive at the control center of the Sulawesi torso machine. Wang Lei found that they are alone in carrying out the plant. Other rescue workers are busy carrying out the evacuation process of the Helios project. Before Wang Lei gets off, he shakes Liu Qi's hand as a sign of reconciliation. After that, they separated according to their own tasks. Wang Lei and his team meet the other rescue workers, but they are unwilling to help and leave the office. Wang Lei instructs Zhou Qian and Duoduo to go with Li Yi into the machine control room. Everyone starts doing their tasks. Liu Qi, who drives to the Earth machine. Tim, besides him, tries to find instructions in the guidebook. Duoduo is taught to communicate with other rescue teams about their new plan. Li Yi is busy fiddling with machines and cables. Lastly, Wang Lei and his 2 teammates are trying their best to pull the engine. Duoduo attempts to communicate, but the rest of the rescue team chooses to ignore and give up. The program Li Yi inputs is lacking in the percussion pin procedure, so the tasks Wang Lei and his 2 teammates have to do are manual. The machine errors again. Tim can't find a way to fix it, so Liu Qi breaks through. They manage to enter the lighter core, but the Earth machine can't be sealed because the program is stuck. Lao, he tries to adjust the hardware, but that could be what's preventing the program from running. He enters a room full of machines, helped by Zhou Qian. Even without the diagram of opportunities, he is optimistic that he can repair it. Liu Qi decides to check the machine himself. Ignoring Tim's protests, Wang Lei and his 2 teammates are still trying to push the machine manually until the suits they're wearing start to lose energy. Lao, with a cigarette in his mouth, looking for errors among the machines in the room. The earthquake shakes again when Liu Qi jumps into the Earth machine. Wei Lang and his 2 teammates move away from the machine to dodge the rubble. Li Yi and Duoduo are immediately protected by Zhou Qian. Liu Qi successfully enters between the Earth machines. Lao, he is hit by the rubble. He is still conscious. Zhou Qian is apparently stabbed. Tim, across the machine, waits for Liu Qi. They tie each other's bodies with ropes. Duoduo tries to save Zhou Qian. She whimpers for help, as does Lao He in the other room, who has a broken leg. Duoduo accidentally finds Pei Qiang's emergency communication number. Duoduo explains their plan to ignite Jupiter, but MOSS says the chances of success are slim. Pei Qiang ignores him. He tries to contact the United Earth government so that all the rescue teams gather at the Sulawesi Control Center, but they refuse with the same reason. The chances are low that they better use the time to say goodbye to their families. Pei Qiang persuades. Eventually, the United Earth government is willing to connect communications to the global system. The success of the mission to ignite Jupiter depends on each individual. After the communication broadcast delivered by Duoduo was heard by everyone, the rescue team decides to help with the final rescue mission. They turn around in a mass of people and head back to Sulawesi. Liu Qi is able to repair the outer damage of the Earth machine. He is almost crushed. Tim pulls him out by throwing himself down. Tim's efforts succeeded. Liu Qi manages to get out of the machine. At the end of his life, Lao, he is able to find errors in the hardware. The program can be 100% inputted. Liu Qi and Tim exit from inside the machine control center as quickly as possible. Li Yi informs Wang Lei that they only have 15 minutes to activate it. Suddenly, another rescue teams come to help them push the machine manually. All machines have been working. Liu Qi and Tim are out of the control center when Li Yi presses the machine button. Unfortunately, the plasma beam can't reach Jupiter. It's still 5,000 kilometers away. Pei Qiang can hear the shouts of the rescue personnel who are starting to run out of steam. He glances at his rocket fuel information. He has another idea. With 300,000 tons of gasoline in this rocket, it is possible to launch plasma all the way to Jupiter. The United government requests time to discuss, but Pei Qiang yells, "There is no more time." Moss takes action. He blocks communication and navigation actions. Exasperated, Pei Qiang turns off the automatic fire extinguisher. He takes out the alcohol Makarov gave him, then throws it at the MOSS until the robot catches fire. He immediately switches the rocket steering manually. The United Earth government then contact Pei Qiang. They chose hope and entrusted this rescue mission to Pei Qiang. Pei Qiang orders Wang Lei to keep pushing the machine. He will sacrifice himself so that the plasma can reach Jupiter. Liu Qi screams to stop the mission, but Pei Qiang stands firm. He strengthened Liu Qi, apologizing that he could not return as he promised. Li Yi reports that his plasma has successfully ignited Jupiter. The wave will arrive in 7 minutes. Wang Lei orders all the rescue teams to evacuate. Liu Qi, who is still immersed in grief, turns to Tim. He also has to rush to save himself for Duoduo. All members of the rescue team led by Wang Lei make it into the elevator. Wang Lei asks the others to leave him because he and Duoduo were hit by the rubble. Not long after Liu Qi and Tim arrive, they manage to pull Duoduo, but Wang Lei gets stuck. He could not be saved. Li Yi tells the others to take shelter under the Earth machine because it can resist shock waves. On the way to the Earth machine, the truck Liu Qi is driving crashed. Liu Qi saves Duoduo with a life preserver. Li Yi then informs them that their rescue mission is successful.